Welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to be looking at application of trig using depression and rates. So to get started, as we read, I'm going to stop and draw a picture of what we have. An aeroplane is flying horizontally directly towards the city of Melbourne at an altitude of 400 meters. So I've got a plane here that is at an altitude of 400 meters. And it's flying to the city that is my city. At a given time, the pilot views the city lights of Melbourne at an angle of depression of 1.5 degrees. So that is thinking about now, I'm going to change colours. That an angle of depression is looking at this angle here. And that angle is 1.5 degrees. 2 minutes later, we have a different position. The plane is still 400 meters, the altitude. So the plane is 400 meters. Altitude, let's keep reading. 2 minutes later, the angle of depression was 5 degrees. So exactly the same. We've got the city here, but our angle of depression has changed to 5 degrees. Find the speed of the aeroplane in kilometers per hour. So the first thing where I'm thinking about is I need to find the distance that is being travelled. Because if we're thinking about speed, a speed equals distance over time. I don't know what distance has been travelled yet. I know the time, but I don't know distance. So to get that, let's work that out. To find distance, we need to find this part of our graph, of our picture, this part right here. So if I'm thinking about the information of this triangle, I know the opposite side, and I'm trying to find A. So if I'm using O and A, I'm thinking about toe. Tan alpha equals opposite over adjacent. So now I can fill in my information. Tan is 1.5. Tan is 1.5 degrees equals opposite is 400 over A. Now I would like to get A by itself. So I can take A over here and then take tan 1.5 degrees, but I'll do it one at a time. Times each side by A. A cancels out on this side and it becomes A tan 1.5 degrees equals 400. If I divide this side by tan 1.5 degrees, it cancels out. So I divide this side by tan 1.5. Equal sign means whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. So tan, so A equals 400 over tan 1.5 degrees. So A equals 400 divided by tan 1.5 degrees. And that gives us a distance of 15,275 meters, or I can change that to kilometers, 15.275 kilometers. I changed it to kilometers because we are going to be talking about it in kilometers per hour. Let's look at our second one, exactly the same. We are going to be looking at opposite over adjacent because I need to find the distance. And then I can take it away and work out the distance that has been travelled. So I'm looking at O and A, opposite and adjacent. So that means I'm using tan again. Tan alpha, that alpha is 5 degrees. So tan 5 degrees equals opposite, which is 400 meters, over adjacent. Exactly the same I can do. I need to get A over this side, and then so get 400 on that side by itself. So I times A on both sides, and it cancels out on this side. So it becomes A tan 5 degrees equals 400. I want A by itself, so I divide this side by tan 5 degrees, which means I divide the other side by tan 5 degrees, and it leaves me with A equals tan 5 degrees. I can then find out that adjacent side by going 400 divided by tan 5 degrees. And that gives me 4,572 meters, which also equates to 4.572 kilometers. So now we've got the distance travelled. We've got adjacent on both. We need to find the distance travelled in the 2 minutes gap. So that means I'm going to do it over here. I've got 15.275 minus what of the distance that is left, 4.572, and I'm going to just take it away. 5 take 2 equals 3, 7 take 7 is 0, borrow, 12 take 5 equals 7, put a decimal place, 4 take 4 is 0, and then 1. So I've got 10.703 kilometers. Now, I've got the distance travelled, I've got the time. The only problem is with the time is it is minutes. So I want to convert 2 minutes into hours. So what amount is that? Well, 2 minutes is divided by 60. That gives me 0.03, or 1 out of 30. So to get this, we are going to go 10.7 10.703 over the time, and the time is 2 minutes out of 60, and that will tell me the speed that it's going. So let's work that out. 10.703 divided by 2 over 60, and that gives me the speed of 321.09. So I'll put it down here, 321.09 kilometers per hour. And there you have it. If you need any extra help with using rates when we're talking about depression and trig, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you.